Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pawnstorm YouTube channel. If you have never joined us before on this channel, I like to cover everything in the chess world, and if you have watched my videos before, then you know that a couple days ago I did a video on a very special player in the chess world. That man is Garry Kasparov, and that video kind of sparked a new playlist and series of videos on this channel called Guess the Player. So basically, how this is going to work out is I'm going to tell you a little bit about this player, and then we'll go over some of their games. So the player that we are talking about right now is extremely strong player. He holds the I believe either the second or third highest rating of all time, and he was a grandmaster by the age of 14. And that man is this man right here, Fabiano Caruana. So if you don't know who Fabiano Caruana is, he was born in 1992. As like I said, he was a grandmaster right before his, I think, 15th birthday, like a couple days before his 15th birthday. And he is just a remarkable player. And one thing that is very special about his kind of play is he's very not super he doesn't like, I don't know, he's just like a quiet kind of like a more humble spirit, I think, but he takes the game much more calmly, I think, and actually a lot of people call him a quiet genius for that that kind of attitude he has. But again, he has been around many years and still is very very much around and very much still playing. So this is episode number 2 of this playlist. Hope you all enjoy, and let us get into the first game of his. So the first one I'm going to be showing you is a game that he played. Sorry, here we go. A game that he played in 2024 in the Sinquefield Cup against Anish Giri. So sorry, I do not have Anish's profile picture. Anyway, again, very strong player. Actually, let me read some more stuff about him before I do this. So let me see here. Okay, so here are some of the things that he likes to do when he plays. So first of all, he likes to control the center. He always fights for the center early. Again, this is going based off like all around, so he doesn't do just most of the time. So he always uses his pawns and pieces to control important squares. He develops his pieces early. He gets his knights and bishops out quickly and castles early. And yeah, so that's like a pretty simple rule. But if you guys can learn that early, and when you're like still, not super high rated, then you will definitely do better. And then third, actually, he avoids unnecessary risks. So he does not rush into crazy attacks. He waits until the position is ready. And the moral of the story is you don't have to win the game in 10 moves. All you have to do is play solid, and your opponent will most likely make mistakes, and then thus you will be able to take advantage of those. And then one more interesting fact about him: in 2018, he played the World Championship match against Magnus Carlsen. At the time, he was still the world champion. And every single game in the main portion of the match was a draw. Until the tie breaks, of course, which then he lost. But every game in that main section, so I think they play like 14 games or something like that, and every single game was a draw. So that clearly shows, how strong he is against Magnus, who, a lot of people say is the greatest player ever. And then also he plays a lot online, and even while he's playing Title Tuesday and quick blitz events, he never, he always keeps his calm, keeps his cool, and he still has his, consistent style. And just to finish up here before we get into the game, he kind of shows you that you don't always have to play crazy or wild to win the game. Smart, solid, and simple is kind of the way that when you watch his games, that's kind of the way he plays, and that's how, that's what any beginner can copy and follow. And yeah, who knows, if you follow this enough, if you follow his games, if you watch enough of his games, maybe you'll play like him one day too. So with that being said, with that little introduction, let's get right into this first game. So I'm pretty excited for this video. I'm pretty excited for this game as well. I went over this game just once, but hopefully you all enjoy it. Here we go. Again, Sinquefield Cup 2024. His opponent is Nishigiri with the black pieces. C4, knight f6, knight to f3, e6, and g3. So notice, like I said before, castle's early. Pieces, he already has 2 pieces developed, and he can get more into the center. He goes d3, getting out the dark square bishop, and now he goes knight to e5, knight bd7, and knight takes. So there's something about Fabi's games that I just like watching so much. There are some other players that I like to watch, namely mostly US players, but there's just something about his games in particular that just, electrifies people, I think, because maybe it's his sense of calm when he plays, maybe it's just his, I don't know, his years of experience, and thus, just stability and his ability to just keep his cool. I don't know what it is, but there's just something that is just so remarkable about his games, which is why I like to watch them so much. Anyway, Anish takes with the bishop, and now we have e4. We take with the pawn, queen e2. So he's taking full control of the center right now. f4, a6, a4. He kind of restricts that bishop there. Now he goes knight to c3. Again, he's trying to develop all of his pieces. Now he goes e5, kicks out the bishop. Bishop takes q2, king takes, bishop e7, bishop d2, rook a8. Now we have this, and now we have en passant. E takes en passant. G takes, and now bishop to c3, f5, rook fd1. I'm gonna be honest. When I saw this, I really did not get this move, because to me it just, I don't know. Again, I don't really. Oh, okay. I know the idea. The idea is you can't take here because of this. And if you go here, it's mate. And if you go there, you can't go there. So that's, the only thing. And of course you don't want to block either. So that's the idea. I just figured that out just a second. So there we go. Okay. Rook fd1. So Anish cannot take. Knight to b6, knight d2. Now he brings the knight back. We have a trade of queens now. And now the king goes to e2, rook d6. Here, kicks the knight out. Knight goes to e4. We have a rook trade. Here, the knight hops into d6. Knight to f6. The bishop is traded for the knight because of this. Now we have a trade of rooks. And now we're down to knight versus bishop. But Fabi is up a pawn. So now he goes here. Instead of taking, he goes here. He pushes the pawn. So he's going to have a passed pawn now. He pushes it again. Here. Bishop e7. Here. h5. Anish, he's doing a good job, but really right now it's Fabi who has the counterplay. He has the passed pawn. He has the knight there protecting it. He can bring the king at some point. It's going to be kind of hard to get the king there. I do concede that. But, if he just keeps his pawns stationary, then it should be fine. King d3. He brings the king this way. And now the king is in. So here, push the pawn. Here, we take the pawn. This, here, and Anish resigns. And the reason he resigns is because after he plays something like this, because there's no way to keep control of this and not really trade the bishop, or lose the bishop because of this, and then you go here and here, here. You don't want to do that. But yeah, I'm not the expert on this. Let me just go back here. I think this is where we ended it. I'm not the expert on this, so I don't really even know how to do this, but he does. Apparently, he can get the job done, so I think this game really can teach us a lot, honestly. If we just go back here quickly and just analyze this for a second before we move on. First of all, English opening. It's an opening you want to play if you are waiting and licking your chops to open the center. As you can see, from the beginning, the center was opened. Then it got kind of locked down, and Black's Dark Sword Bishop was fairly trapped there on that side. That's why I had to move over. But yeah, I think, and not just because I'm partisan or I'm biased, but I think he did a very nice job. And I mean, this just makes sense why he's it just makes sense why he is one of the best players in the world because of how he plays. He isn't phased, even when some of the new guys are showing up. Prague and Gukesh. Gukesh is now the world champion. He's not phased. He's one of the how should I say it? He's been around for a while, so he isn't daunted or phased early, or phased quickly. But yeah, again, very nicely played by both sides. I gotta give Anish credit where it's due. He did very well. Again, yeah, just nicely played by both sides. But especially by Fabi because he got the win. But anyway, yeah. That was game number 2. Let me show you one or maybe two more because I really like covering his games. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2. This game, Fabi's playing the black pieces against Jan Nepomniachtchi. Again, very, very, very super strong player from Russia, or that area. I don't exactly know where he's from, but I know it's around the Russia area. This game also is played at Sinquefield Cup 2024. Yeah, there's not much more I can say. Jan, Nepo's been around for a long time, and yeah, just has been at the top of everything and for a long time. But anyway, e4 c5, and again Fabi's playing with the black pieces. Knight f3 and g6. So we have a hyper accelerated dragon, I guess. Knight to c3. Again, this is the Sinquefield Cup is a very prestigious tournament. So it would be kind of funny if they played really weird stuff. Again, it would be great for content, but and this did happen last year, but it doesn't matter. Knight to c6. Knight to f6, bishop c4, castles. Again, like I said in the introduction, he never, he castles early, he develops the pieces, he brings the knights out before the bishops, and there he goes. So he does this queen thing, but that's fine. He brings the knight, now he brings the bishop. So he's got almost every single piece developed, and white still hasn't castled, but they do on this move. On long castles. Now we have rook to c8, rook fc8, king b1. We have a trade here. g4, so Jan kind of striking back in the center. Bishop e6, knight to b3. The bishop goes to d4, rook ac8. Now he has both of those rooks leveled down on the knight, and he can bring the knight. The knight so far is hanging, yeah. But Fabi, cool, calm, collected, sacrifices the knight in order to get this, and now he goes for this too. So ultra savage right here. He goes here, he gets in, brings the rook, takes here, So he's just sacrificing everything. And actually Jan resigns right here because, I mean, if you take, there's all manner of things from, you know, I can't see him here, but I mean, maybe something as dumb as this. I don't know. What would it be? I don't know. But anyway, it's, you know, Jan saw it was a big problem, and you could just see here. I mean, Fabi's bringing the pieces here. He gets the bishop. Light square bishop is there. Sacrifices the bishop, and yeah, not much more to be said. So anyway, that was game number 2. Not very long. He didn't waste any time, starting out with that very nice knight sacrifice in order to get an unstable center. Then he sacrificed, or he did not sacrifice, but he took here. Then he sacked the rook for the knight, and then went here, and then sacked the bishop. And yeah, I guess Jan didn't see it coming. But anyway, let me just scan through quickly. Yeah. Again, as a Sicilian player myself, I definitely think I can learn some things from this game, especially because I have faced some pretty weird and heinous things in the Sicilian Hyper-Accelerated Dragon line. But yeah, it's very nice to go over games where it's familiar to you, right? So just a couple games today, but hopefully they gave you a little taste of how Fabi plays, and I hope you guys enjoy this series where I'm going through some of these games, or some of these players, these special players, and let me know in the comments down below who you like to see next. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video. Hang on, I want to go full screen for this. Yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Make sure to check down in the comments down below for links for Submagic and Chess.com Premium memberships to support the channel. And I will see you all in the next video.